Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Today we are reacting to Game Theory. We've been hiding something from you by the Game Theory. So I really don't expect, so 3, 2, 1, let's react.
You don't know me. Okay, maybe you do, but I certainly know you. I've been watching, and I've designed something for you. So let's play a little game. There are 6 levels to be tackled in any order, each with its own theme, each with a clue to unlock the final 7th challenge. Here's what happens if you lose. Oh, wait, sorry, that's from a different video. Here's what happens if you lose. Nothing, but there are real prizes at stake for those who are able to make it through and win. So, are you ready? Let's play.
Internet, welcome to Game Theory, the show that proves if you're bored with reality, you can always just make an alternate one, or, join my alternate one. Now, about a year ago, I started to cover the topic of ARGs on this channel. Alternate reality games. Puzzles that span all reaches of the internet, and even cross over into the real world. Fortnite's Durr Burger suddenly appearing in the middle of the California desert, accounting Plus's impossibly hidden zoo level, practically every FNAF video where I'm combing through source code and sound files. And on that topic, yes, I am very painfully aware that there's yet another series of teasers that just came out a few days after my last episode. The brand new bruise on my forehead with the matching dent in the top of my desk don't lie. Heck, even the Doki Doki Literature Club portrait of Markov Connected Universe could conceivably be considered an ARG of sorts, since clues seem to be hidden in that game's merch. So, with so much experience analyzing everyone else's games, last year I decided to step up, make my own game, my own ARG puzzle. I mean, we are a community of theorists after all. We solve puzzles on this channel literally every week, so why not give you guys a chance to put those skills to the test? Apply everything that I've taught you from over the last 8 years and do my job for a change. I wanted to give you guys a fun, free game to play as a group that would give you a chance to make some new friends, stretch your mind a bit, all while giving me and the team over here, like Jason, Yay! And everyone else, Chris, everyone, a fun and creative challenge. Get us out of our week-to-week videos and give us something to think about that isn't just like edits and notes and the YouTube algorithm and churn and churn and churn. And boy, it was humbling to see how many of you rose to that challenge. Since launching Gate 1 last November, over 400,000 unique players have joined in on my little hunt. Seriously, even though I know how lucky I am to have an audience for my videos, there's a lot of anxiety whenever you put yourself out there and try something new. I mean, I'm still trying to get people to be impressed about my time spent in show choir, and they never are. I mean, how could you not be? Look at how clean my armography is. Are you not entertained? No, apparently, no one is. But all joking aside, this thing has taken 1,500 hours of work to put together. And it's cost, no joke, $70,000 to make. And it's all free for you guys. When I say that this is a project of love to thank you for all the support you've given to the channel, I hope that those numbers express how true that is. All for something that we didn't plan to make any money back on. I mean, we've made new channels, new websites, tons of videos, even a full-on video game, all to give you something that is so big, so unique, something that no one has ever done before at a scale no one would be crazy enough to try. Just to say thank you. To thank you for being a theorist. To thank you for supporting this channel and what we do here for the last 8 years. And here's the thing, and here's the reason why I'm sitting on the couch talking about it, it's still not done. The final challenge is launching later this month. It's actually launching August 31st. So today, I wanted to give you a walkthrough because the game is still there. And honestly, it's never too late to start playing. I mean, maybe you started and got bogged down by a certain puzzle, maybe you felt like you started too late and you got too far behind, or maybe you had no idea that this was a thing that existed in the first place. So I wanted to do a video today that gives anyone who wants to play this thing a chance to catch up, or a place to turn to for the answers that might be too hard for them to find. Because the game isn't over. Heck, there's even a chance that you can get prizes out of it, because there's merch giveaways sprinkled throughout the whole thing, and there's one final one, a big one right at the end. Back in the 90s, there was this show called Magic's Biggest Secrets Finally Revealed. I love this thing, right? Because you had a masked magician showing you how lots of the magic tricks were really done, and that's sort of the vibe that I'm going for today's episode. I'm gonna give you a walkthrough of the ARG so far so you can see how it works, how much thought and effort went into planning this thing and making it actually happen, and finally, feel prepared to tackle Gate 7 when it comes out, which is gonna be soon. Like I said, August 31st, 12:57 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's 777 minutes after midnight. Gate 7, 777, there's a lot of stuff like that. It's also Labor Day weekend, so hopefully you have a free weekend to kind of like dedicate to this stuff. It'd be a fun little free game to play. So if you've noticed weird moments in game theory episodes, moments like this, or strange behavior on the live stream like this.
And Jason, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Today, you're gonna finally understand what that was all about. So theorist goggles on, my friends. Today, we're diving into the deep end of the pool. I've already covered our first mini ARG in another video, so if you're looking to go all the way back to the start, go ahead and watch this one first. Consider that one our test run of sorts. A beta release that allowed us to work out some of the kinks to ensure everything remained fun and fair for anyone who decided to play along. This new game is basically a series of 7 gates, with each gate being themed around something relevant to us in the theorist community. Retro Nintendo games for Gate 1, scary indie games like Bendy and Doki Doki Literature Club for Gate 2, film theory favorites like Marvel, Disney, Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, and Rick and Morty for Gate 3, rage games for Gate 4, GT Live, our live stream for Gate 5, and previews of the Lost Pages hardcover journal from our new round of merch, no purchases required, for Gate number 6. Each gate consists of at least 3 puzzles. Completing puzzles gets you a key. If you get stuck, clues get unlocked to point you in the right direction. So you get all the keys, enter all the passwords, defeat all the gates. Sounds simple, right? Well, it is, for a little bit. Very short amount of time, probably a bit too short of amount of time. Gate 1 starts with 2 warm-up questions. The first is a blurry image, and the clue is released July 15th, 1983. And since this is an open book, or should I say open Google test, we can look up that date, see that it's the release date of the Famicom, the Japanese predecessor of the original Nintendo, and boom, we have ourselves our first key. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Key number 2 starts to ramp things up a bit. I gave you a picture of the original Link from The Legend of Zelda, and the clue, the one replaced. There's also a link to a regular old episode of Game Theory there, except the intro music sounds like a cassette tape that got stuck in a VCR. So if you pause it right at 53 seconds, you'll see the same picture of Link in the Game Theory title screen. If you watch Game Theory a lot, you'd realize that Link isn't usually there. It's usually a Koopa Troopa. So the one replaced is the Koopa Troopa, giving us our second password and key. Ha! I thought this thing was supposed to be a challenge.
Will you be the first? Will you be the first? Will you be the first?
Well, ask and thou shalt receive, internet. Key number 3 is where things go from fun to hardcore in a hurry, because it required code breaking and audio-video manipulation. But all of that stuff is doable, right? All you need is patience, Google, and the links I included to a bunch of free programs that are useful in code breaking, like Notepad, Audacity, and Photopia. So with those in our toolbar, we are set to go. Key number 3 is our first instance of a trope that'll recur a lot throughout the ARG. A video that contains a lot of clues that all need to be found and dissected. So first, let's look at the audio. Now, I've been talking a lot about spectrograms and hiding clues visually and sound lately on the channel. See also the latest Minecraft video. So when you hear a sound like this,
Incredible Nintendo Entertainment.
chances are there's something hidden inside. Just like if you see a FNAF teaser online, step 1 is to raise the brightness, and then step 2 is to look in the source code. And at this point, the internet is great at that. So I've been trying to teach you to do the same thing with sound files. So if you put that audio into a spectrogram, it gives you a bunch of solid leads, including a barcode that says Yoshi and the clue the year in coins along with the link. If you follow the link, you'll see the image contains 93 cents. So we can assume that the year is 1993, which, when Googled with Yoshi, points to the Famicom game Yoshi's Safari. That, my friends, is our first password. Challenge 3A complete. The spectrogram also points to a tweet made by me the day that the gate launched that clues you in that the video's audio should be played in reverse at 4 times speed. Get it? Key 3B, played in reverse 4 times speed. It's not that hard to decode, quite honestly. Getting that, what once sounded like this now sounds like this. The overworld theme from Legend of Zelda. Your second password, overworld. For the last password, a cipher was hidden here around the countdown ring in the video using an alien language that we created specifically for the ARG, an alphabet that's wound up on some recent t-shirts of ours. Translating that alphabet gives you the message, seek two brothers and the bot. Unhex the purple perpetrator. Two brothers and a bot is pointing to a different moment of the video right here, where you'll see a web address along the bottom with a portion of it in purple. But that web address doesn't do anything. It leads to a broken link. That's where the last bit of that alien code is important. Unhex the purple perpetrator. The end of that URL is in hex code, which is easy to translate using any online code breaking tool. That gives you a new web address that leads to this image. Seems fairly basic, right? Not a whole lot to see here, but believe it or not, there are actually 3 separate clues hidden in this one image. Can you see them? Probably not, but remember what I just said about the FNAF images. How I've been trying to train you up so that way every time you see a mysterious image online, your first impulse is, what if I brighten this thing up? And lo and behold, if you start changing the brightness of the image, you get yourself the message, the cipher is hidden. Knowing that there's more hidden here, you would probably continue playing with sliders and adjusting the image. You would probably hit the contrast slider, which gives you a new message, change the hue to see the clue. Following that advice and pulling at the hue slider, you reveal a final hex code that leads to this GIF. From there, using the clues in the image, you know I'm referring to the classic Konami code, which would unlock all sorts of goodies back in the days when Konami made games and, not pachinko machines, or whatever it is you want to call Metal Gear Survive. Anyway, the Konami code is up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Translating that and using the code you see on screen, you get yourself the final password, oh yeah, MP. And with that, gate 1 is done. Piece of cake, right? Spoiler alert, this is the easiest gate to clear. Like I said, this was all meant to be a tutorial for things to come. Honestly, looking back, if I could do it all again, I would probably have made most of these first 3 gates a bit easier, with fewer steps for every puzzle, or done some more warming up in each and every gate. In my desire to make something that was hard enough to be exciting for hardcore fans, I think I might have pushed things a little bit too hard too quickly. I'm literally like the dad throwing the kid into the pool and saying, now swim! But hey, if you're already feeling like you're drowning, it's a good thing you have this video to serve as a walkthrough so you don't have to do any of the work yourself. Consider it the flotation tube to the ARG, the fun noodle, if you will. I'm also starting to realize that if I go into every detail of every single twist and turn and code and link and cipher and clue, that this video is going to take like 8 hours to cover everything, let alone the editing time. It's already looking like it's going to be a 2-parter even without this, so if you want an even more exhaustive look at every single clue and solution, you can find lots of helpful hints on the Game Theory Discord server, which I'll link in the description. Theorists have done an amazing job ripping every single one of these keys and gates to shreds. There's also an incredible document. It's basically the equivalent of a strategy guide for this thing, put together by members of the theorist community. It's called the GT-ARG Master Tracker, and it literally walks you through step by step every key, every puzzle, every solve. So special thanks to Retrocraft, Daviato, Deborah, and Dead010 as the original creators and editors of that document. You guys are incredible, and in all honesty, it's been nice to go back and reread all the stuff that we did for the ARG in the preparation for this video. So your Master Tracker is not only useful to new players, it's also useful for the creator of this whole thing to begin with. So thank you so much for dedicating your time and efforts into making this thing a reality. You're great. But if you're looking for a fun little highlight reel of this whole thing, consider this a fun little visual solve of all the key puzzles. Now, like I said earlier, gate number 2 is based on some indie game favorites from the channel. Again, we start with a fairly simple series of warm-up questions, this time getting you to revisit moments from past Game Theory episodes and completing key quotes from them. And no, this wasn't me just trying to juice the watch time on the channel, though come to think of it, that was a nice little side bonus. Anyway, those were fairly easy and not really worth going over. But for as easy as those first 3 keys were, the 4th one is a doozy. And it all starts with this video. Hello internet, hello internet, hello internet.
On the plus side, I've got a new character I think.
First things first, spectrograph that sucker. It provides the clue the emerald logo will guide you. That's the Chaos Theory logo, by the way, which I use for all things related to the ARG. When you see this thing, it usually means a clue is nearby. Anyway, if you watch the video again carefully, you'll see moments where a green logo appears. During those frames, you'll also see an alien glyph on screen. Finding them all and translating them leads to a DeviantArt page that you guys didn't know I had a DeviantArt account. Well, I do, and it has one picture on it, this. No, I'm not trying to enlist you in a cult, though it definitely looks a lot like it. True behind-the-scenes story here, we actually had a lot of meetings about this gate, and I told the graphics guy working on this section of the puzzle to tone it back multiple times, because even I was starting to get creeped out by this whole thing. I'm like, hey, we really want this to stay a fun game and not think that we're leading people down into the dark web or something. This is the middle ground that we struck. Probably could have toned it back even more. It's still relatively disturbing. Feels like something straight out of Welcome to the Game. Anyway, this descent into a family-friendly dark web of sorts is an instruction guide on how to get to the end of the gate. Following the link that you find via the upper left-hand corner of the image, again hidden in alien glyphs, you're taken to a new video. One that looks surprisingly identical to the first, except this time there are a few subtle differences. Like the ending is different. Spectrogram this video and you get yourself a new message. Follow the crimson logos. This time there are red Chaos Theory logos sprinkled across the screen, and in those moments, a letter is missing from some of the text that you see. Like here's the trophy logo in an Undertale clip, and suddenly you see that you're missing an M. If you go through the video slowly, you'll find all the missing letters. You put those missing letters together and you're brought to a new website, a website with just one image on it. Huh, mysterious image you say, let's brighten that thing up. Nope, nothing. There's nothing hidden here. So does that mean we're at a dead end? Well, not quite. Saving the image actually shows us a dedicated file name. A file name that's encoded in hexadecimal. Just like that DeviantArt image was warning us about. If you decode that hex code, it gives us a zip file link named The Graveyard. A huge folder filled with dozens of images related to death and mystery. The goal, as we read earlier, is to search the graveyard for these three symbols: Death, Bone, and Eye of Ra. Now, you could absolutely spend the next hour of your life searching through all the images to find the symbols, but the thing is, each individual file name has a purpose. You see, they're all in binary. And so, if you convert the names of the three symbols that you're looking for, Death, Bone, and Eye of Ra, into binary, and then search the zip folder for those binary strings, you'll actually find them in seconds. It's actually really fun. There are people who do live streams of them solving these gates in real time along with their fans. Channels like Kink, KYNK, and the chat helps them try to solve the puzzles with them. It's really awesome to watch. And true story, as I was paying attention to people trying to solve Gate 2, this was the moment where I'm like, are they gonna figure it out? Some did, absolutely, and some spent a really long time searching individually through each and every image, which again, it's totally solvable. It's just the longer solve method. I'm trolly in these things, but not that trolly. Well, that's not true. I'm about to get to probably the trolliest part of this whole thing. Anyway, from there, you need to open the three images containing the symbols as text in Notepad. Yeah, you can open image files as text, where you'll find yourself more binary. Decode those binary strings using an online converter, and you get yourself a list of character names from some of my favorite indie titles, as well as portions of a web link that ultimately lead to an audio file. Spectrograph that file, follow the link that's hidden inside of it, and get this, an old-fashioned word search. I love these things, and it's nice to have clues that aren't hidden in like hexadecimal code or video that takes way too long to After Effects. All those character names that you were given via the binary strings were actually just a word search find list. So if you find all 21 character names that are buried in that word search and then piece together the remaining red letters that haven't been circled, don't worry, there were subtle clues leading to all of that, you get yourself a final link that leads to a final video. And your reward for the entirety of Gate 2, all of this absurd puzzle solving, is a Rickroll. Yep, throughout this whole creepy, death-themed gate, I'm telling you to look for Ra. You're gonna meet Ra. Keep an eye out for Ra. And when I say Ra, I'm not referencing the Egyptian sun god or even the RA who tells you to turn down the music in your college dorm room. I'm speaking about the RA, Rick Astley, the original artist of the Rickroll. Listen to the song while staring at my creepy Photoshop face, and I finally give you the password for Gate 2, Never Gonna Give You Up, except it's in stylized characters. Oh, ARGs and trolling. I'm never gonna give you up either. Whew, okay, this episode's getting real long, so let's burn our way through Gate 3, shall we? Gate 3 is a bit of an homage to some of our favorite properties on the film theory side of Theorist Land, and in the spirit of our favorite Purple Raisin Thanos, has players searching the cinematic multiverse for the Theory Stone. Before you make fun of me for being unoriginal in my naming of that thing, just know that we made a ton of dang puzzles puzzles for this ARG, okay? Not everything is gonna have a cool original name attached to it. In all honesty, Gate 3 is probably my favorite of the gates because of all the cool video manipulation we did throughout. The first puzzles this time were getting you to think outside the box and question the meaning of words, manipulating URLs using image dimensions rather than dimensions. With the first key found, no film theory themed gate would be complete without, a video. So we made this mashup of Rick and Morty with the only kids programming on YouTube creepier than Spider-Man Elsa. Don't hug me, I'm scared.
There's always time for a song.
Something's different.
There were a lot of codes hidden throughout this video, some with Caesar ciphers, like you see in the calendar in the back wall of the kitchen for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and others with clock ciphers because, as they say in Don't Hug Me,
Time is a tool you can put on the wall.
or use in ARGs to honestly befuddle everyone. All of those ciphers ultimately lead to the password for the second key, which is, how did I get here? And yes, we did that typo on purpose. Well, not quite on purpose, but it was too late to change it by the time we realized that there was a typo, so we added a little Easter egg reference into the main video apologizing for it right here. For key number 3, we had another video that asked you to identify the fictional location shown to have infinity stones. I mean, theorist stones hidden inside them, and input those names onto a web page with certain letters circled. After identifying Elsa's Frozen Palace, Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons, and Nidavellir from the Marvel movies, you can put all the circled letters in order to form the password Laser Navel, a reference to, wouldn't you know it, another popular series that we cover on Film Theory, My Hero Academia. By the way, Laser Navel, lamest superpower ever. No offense, Yuga. Actually, some offense meant. Key 4 starts with a partial QR code and yet another video.
Beacon received. We're doing Vindicators.
This one points to a second web page with circled missing letters that you can access after giving some letters from the names of the Vindicators from Rick and Morty. After that, you have some Doctor Who references, you have to identify a few more locales like Ollivanders, the Benatar, and the time and relative dimension in space, better known as the TARDIS. Turns out the name is bigger on the inside too. With all of those entered, you get yourself the password from the circled letters, which spells out Vader is nice, and opens up the final key to Gate 3. The last key here requires you to look at the source code of the Vader is nice link. You find yourself a code, which when ciphered directs you to a page with the finished QR code. Scan that QR code and you get yourself a hologram of the Theory Stone. Oh yeah, we be 3D modeling up in this his house for this ARG. But when you zoom into the image, you can actually see that there's another code in alien glyphs hidden inside the hologram. Decrypt that one and you're taken to this dank vintage McDonald's commercial with a Theory Stone hidden amongst the Happy Meal toys. Thus, the last password and the final resting place for the all-powerful Theorist Stone is a McDonald's Happy Meal. The solution to gate number 3. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Seriously, McDonald's, sponsor me. I am just as excited as this small 90s boy every time I visit your haloed golden arches. You are my home cooking. And with that, I need a break. I need a break before I cover these last 3 gates. You probably do too at this point. We just plowed through dozens of hours worth of puzzle solving in just like a couple of minutes. That said, can you see how much work went into this thing? I mean, have I made it clear to you how much this was a project of love for all you theorists? I mean, I've been working on this for almost a year now, all as a means of giving you something fun to play. A celebration of all our favorite stuff, all our favorite videos here on the channel. A walk down memory lane of sorts. And all of it is free, if and when you feel like taking the challenge. Whether you play it today or a year from now, it's there. It's waiting for you as a memento given from me to you. That said, as I said before, it costs a lot of money. And if you did want to support that effort or any of the cool stuff that we do here on the channel, consider getting some of our new back to school theory wear. It's out right now, it's brand new, and it is awesome. Outside of watching the channel and subscribing, buying merchandise is literally the best thing you can do to help with not only our week-to-week videos, but cool projects like this ARG. We don't ask you to become sponsors of the channel. We haven't turned on that YouTube feature for a reason. We want to ensure that any time that you trust us with your money, you're getting something real, something tangible and high quality right back every time, sent directly to your door. And the merch is honestly our best way of doing that. For back to school, we've got ourselves an incredible backpack that's sleek and heavy duty and can carry everything from a laptop to the heaviest books you can heave into it. We've also got ourselves a hard shell pencil case with a rubberized Theorist logo on it, complete with stations to dock all your
So yeah guys, thanks for watching, and of course, peace out of your life. Peace.